How's it going, guys? Trey Clark here, as I usually am. I'm going to jump right into this as I usually do. I know I look like a hobo, but I'm not shaving until I make myself finish mastering the CD and get the books out and stuff. So expect more of this and whatever. I'm going to jump right into this. George Floyd, they ain't dead. Those cops are not in jail. Those cops are not cops. Those cops are crisis actors. A lot of people are waking up to this stuff because it's a staged event. Now, there are still lots of people that are like, how dare you? How dare you? Sandy Hook, the children, and all this stuff. And whenever you hear someone say, how dare you, that means that they're falling for the PSYOP, the psychological operation. So there's a way, I guess there's a strategy, and you have to get people to convince other people that are in their community. Usually it's either parents of children or the oppressed black community is the goal right now. Get them, they plant people in there to get the community wound up, and then suddenly they have an army to do stuff. And then the next step is the middle class, which is the main goal. They got to get rid of the middle class. They just wanted to starve the poor to death. They could. They've already pumped drugs into the system, made sure that the strongest family unit, the blacks, it was like 80% of all black families had a father in the home and all that kind of stuff. They didn't want any part of that, so they had to get rid of that family unit first. Families are absolutely dangerous to elites, okay? Then we break down families, then we break down communities, and then break down cities, and then we all are fodder for federal dictatorship or whatever they want to do on a mass scale. But very strong local units, all the way down to the family, all the way down to a marriage. You can see how, if there was a strategy, they've been using one. And, break up marriage, make it okay for you to live together, not to be married. Make it okay to kill your babies. Make it okay to take government money while, as a mother of five, while you're the dad, goes off to jail for a minor drug charge. It's all by design. So these psyops are just another step in the direction. The main direction is to get rid of the middle class. So the pawns are the poor, okay? And the black communities in the inner cities they're the biggest group of poors. And then they piss the hell out of them. They make sure that that the enemy isn't the real enemy to them, which is the elites. They don't care about them. They're going to be killed off. If you can't produce, you don't want to have a job. Once all this is over with, the poor have no place here other than just to, submit. And then the middle class needs to be just eradicated because the middle class is pesky. We're armed. We're educated. And when I say middle class, I mean pretty much if you have a vehicle and you can pay for your gas, probably have a job, or you're either renting or own a dwelling, and maybe a few things extra like, a pet, or maybe take a vacation every now and then, or can fly to see your family. That's the middle class. It's not like these people that are making $200,000-$300,000 a year, and they want you to think it is, but it's usually small business owners that hardly make anything until they bust their ass for 10 years. And I'm one of them. And I'm middle class and I'm paycheck to paycheck right now, especially after the COVID stuff. So, but the middle class is a class of people. It doesn't mean you have class or not. It's just what is the class is the threat to the elites. How much of it, the lower class is the least amount of threat. The middle class is a big threat. Upper class starts to get split between the elites and the middle class. So what do they need us to do? They need us to fight, just like animals. That's all we are to them. Don't kid yourself. Whether you're a poor black man, a rich white woman, or whoever, they want us afraid of each other and they want us at war. So I train dogs, and the most useless animal in the world for this, if you want to make money off of this animal, is a dog that won't fight. So you put them in the ring, you prod them, and I had to learn about this because I trained them I needed to see the process of what these dogs have been through. So I had to go through the miserable stuff of like really getting into the psychological stuff of what's the baggage these dogs are carrying, and it's heavy. They stress these dogs out, and they just prod them. They put them in the ring, and if they don't fight, there's hell to pay. And they get them. Finally, they go, "You're gonna fight," and they poke them and they prod them and they freak them out and light firecrackers in the thing, and then all of a sudden, boom, they fight, and that's what they're doing to us. Sound familiar? Really, a 1-2 punch with a super pandemic virus that no one's ever. Doctors getting laid off rather than these hospitals getting overrun. But see, the thing is, they're not trying to convince us that that's really what's happening. They're getting us wound up. They're getting us into this mode, and we're all the target. Unless you're one of the elites like a Soros that's writing the checks, it's a game, just like the animals. If we're not fighting, they're not making money. Okay, they're not selling advertisement for the news and all that stuff, so they have to have us fight. So they prod us. And what do? They place, actors or paid people that know what they're doing into these communities. The communities become their army because everyone's wound up. And fuck white people. Fuck that white motherfucker. He's holding you down. White people don't hold black people down. I'm a white 47-year-old male in Texas, and I've never heard a conversation. I've run restaurants. I've been a manager most of my life. I've been a band in Texas, and I've never even heard anyone say I wouldn't hire a black drummer. It's not true. Now, what is true is the aftermath of people believing that it's true. Then the end result is a black person now thinks that the white person hates them, and automatically there's tension there. Boom. That's a win for the elites. And then I'm mad. I'm like, I don't fucking hate black people. I didn't do shit to you, motherfucker. And then who knows where it's going to go from there. And then do it on a mass scale. White people don't hate black people. And if black people knew that, then they wouldn't be so fucking pissed off at us. We're not holding anybody down. There are things that happen. And cops fuck with everybody. I'm sorry. I know a lot of cops, and I've met some that I don't like very much. I've had some stops where I was really messed with a lot where I wasn't doing anything wrong. But that's just a slice of society. I know people in church. I left the church just because of how many pieces of shit there are. You get enough people, you're going to have a percentage of people that do bad shit. And then it's like, there's no fucking cops don't go out and go, hey, that's a black guy. Boom, boom, boom. Just, no. There are some things that are not fair, but we're fixing them. Look, we fixed slavery. No one's a slave. Okay? You're not allowed to buy and sell people. Well, actually, you're not allowed to legally, but it's happening now. And I wish all this energy was being put towards human trafficking rather than slavery that was happening a long time ago. But guess what? Black people would still be slaves if white people were united in wanting them to be. I want to know, they didn't just vote themselves out of, starting a war, and we're just being lied to. Everything is a psychological operation. That cop putting his knee on the back of George Floyd's head, for 8 minutes plus in broad daylight. That ain't how cops kill people. Didn't make sense. They throw them in the back of the car. They make sure the cameras are off. They get their story straight. Plant a gun. That's how that shit works. They don't do it on a broad daylight street looking at a camera. That's for us to go. This for a black man who's just worn out from just all the barrage of lies that the only reason they're not having their fair shake is because of the middle class. And then me, I'm sitting there going, you fucking stupid cop, why would you do that? And I want him to hang just as much as anyone else. And then so I'm mad, that energy's there. And then the next thing I do is like, fuck, now there's gonna be riots. So what do? I go buy more ammo because the end is near, right? Fear, 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 fear. Prod, 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 prod. Fight, fight, fight. Ah, fuck, I'm fucking tired of this shit. I don't have any money after fucking COVID, and now we got fucking riots. Well, it's all by design. We're not really like that. Because there's some fucking psychopaths that have a shit ton of money, and there are assholes that will take the money and go, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Sure. I don't care. There's no fucking cause here. Everybody knew that no one was going to side with that cop. It's a game. They're playing 4D chess. And the end game is not for us to bow down to go, well, I guess we're going to, bend over for the poor and get, that's not it. They want us to fight. That way, they don't have to fucking do the fight. We just kill each other, kill each other, kill each other, fight, kill each other. And then it's a little easier to roll in with the tanks. So this is just a strategy. It's an infiltration strategy. It's war. And it's not, and they're dividing us. Divide and conquer. Order out of chaos. Order out of chaos. And I fell into the trap of like, fucking cops are Freemasons. So there must be this big conspiracy of they're trying to summon the end of days, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there looking up stuff, and it's like Freemasonry, chaos out of order. George Floyd has a Freemasonry, he's 33 degree, and all this shit. And it's like, oh, my. And then I'm in the honeypot. I'm like, then I'm wound up, and I'm in fear. And if you want someone to misbehave, get them really afraid. That's it. And really, once you kind of look at it like that, like I said, the aftermath is real. But if you look at it and you're like, okay, all the world's a stage, as if Shakespeare was a real person, that's what it is. It's all just psyop stuff, the mass shootings. If you can write the script just from reading the headline, that means the script has been written. And we're the patsies. And don't you think for 1 second that you can't do it on a mass scale. They've spent a lot of time with that MK Ultra stuff, and they have it lined out very well. It's all declassified. They know how to do it in masses. They know how to do it in the family unit, how to do it in masses on a local level, and then a state level, and all that stuff. And they're doing it all. If you really want to see what's going on, learn how to do it. And you'll just be like, that's exactly what they're fucking doing. And you can't unsee it at that point. So the main thing is, yeah, it sucks. And yeah, or my paycheck got hit. But it only lasts so long unless we go to war. And that's what they want. And we can't go to war. They want the middle class to start mowing down the poor. When they come in there, when they come into like rural neighborhoods and stuff like that, what they want is us armed citizens to sit there and go, not on my watch and all this shit. And then that shot's fired, and it's, the shot heard around the world, what is it, Ferdinand? And for World War I. That's what they want. They want war. They're fucking psychopaths. And that's the end game. So all you can really do, what I always say, just start with what's between your walls, okay? And I have to tell myself this every day because I'm one of those people that can get wound up and go, fuck those motherfuckers. I haven't done anything to them. I've hired, donate money and all this kind of shit, and my taxes. That's where they want me. They want me in this, fuck that shit. That's where they want me. I'm now a tool of them. See? Now, I'm that dog that is finally obeying this prodding. When before, I'm worthless to them. I'm like, I didn't do anything. Anyway, I love you, honey. In the house, and just stick to the plan. That's the thing. They don't want me doing that. They don't want you doing that. They don't want poor people to just sit there and get a good fair shake and go, well, they don't ever want them to say those words, well, this guy doesn't seem like a bad guy. Yes, he is. He hates you. He wants you to be held down. White people don't fucking hate black people. That's not true. None of it. We hate bad people. That's it. And no one equates black people to bad people. There are bad black people. There ain't no shortage of fucking bad white people, I'll tell you that. They're the ones running the fucking whole show. But we drink the Kool-Aid, and here we are. But the main thing is realize it's all planned, all this stuff. And once you realize that, the veil lifts and you react differently. Yes, they can roll in and wind up enough people to where they can do a lot of bad stuff. But if you realize it's bullshit, you react differently. And anger and picking up a gun. Now, I mean, I don't mean don't pick up a gun and defend your property type thing, but that's what they want, that confrontation. And sometimes you're in a confrontation that you didn't want, but you're still there. So I'm not saying don't like just turn the other cheek at all times. But just once you know the game, and spread this, tell people this, look at it. Look at crisis actors. It's biblical. They used to have people mourn deaths at funerals, and nobody knew them, just so that they would cry, and they were actors, and they would, just to make a scene. And George Floyd ain't dead. And I'll see if I can find the link on that. But I'd really rather you dig around. Every time I leave a link, no one ever clicks it, and if they do, they're like, oh, you believe everything on the internet. Whatever. You don't believe your car insurance is real? I'm sure you got that on the internet. So, just be wise, and just remember that there are people pulling the strings. This is strategic. They're busing people with masks on, saying, here's a mask, go walk around. Just so people like me and you, maybe if you're watching this, are sitting there going, fuck this, these masks don't work. And then as soon as they hit that, fuck this shit, man, what, are people that crazy? No, they're not. But people are that psychopathic, and they need us in that state, because then we misbehave. We misstep. We say things, we post things that can outrage other people, and we play their game. That's it. No, if someone is breaking the law and looting your store, fucking mow them down. But that's what they want. So the game, we're in the game. So it's like, what do you want to be a free thinker in this game, and to kind of like figure out the strategy, which is what good, smart coaches do. They're not mad at the other team. They're just like, all right, what's going on here? And all right, so what's going on? When they confiscate 50 of those, whatever, $150 batons, the telescoping batons, and they were all the exact same brand after a riot, they're issuing this stuff. It's organized. It's not just a bunch of people going, you know what? Enough is enough. But they want us to think it is, because eventually, order out of chaos has to start with chaos. Chaos makes order. And they're creating chaos. Are you going to be a part of it? I have been emotionally. Oh my gosh, COVID. I have been. I mean, I've been hit financially hard by this stuff. And I've been angry, and I've been mad at my fellow man, but for going, really? You're gonna fucking take your mask down just to talk to someone, and you think the virus can't even get through there to begin with? A micron can get... They want me like that. The goal isn't for me to convince people that it's not true. The goal is to get me and become, I guess, a web, create my own little web of people that are mad at everyone else. And I am taking a step back. And I'll stay armed and all this stuff, but I'm not going to partake in the circus. It's WWF. Your girl from Michigan is Soros's daughter. Soros pays all these people. There are people cashing checks in banks. That's George Soros's name on them. He's bussing everyone in. He's doing all this shit because at the end of the day, they want the middle class to keep away from the elite so that they can do all this human trafficking. That's it. They want that fucking Microsoft Chrome, the Drano Chrome. And they want us freaked out. It's like, oh my gosh, Bill Gates is going to sign some kind of order. He's not even elected. And they're going to start sticking us with needles, and fuck those motherfuckers. If someone comes to my door, someone comes to my fucking door, I'm good. That's where they want me. Because they are going to knock on someone's door, but it's not going to be on like a mass scale. Or, there are web pages devoted towards Michigan, and I got caught up in it. I'm like, fuck those motherfuckers, man. And I'm reading all these stories like, my son, they wouldn't let me see him, and then he died, and I wasn't even allowed to go to his funeral and all this stuff. This is bullshit. Because we all know, at the end of the day, I know for a fact that they couldn't have kept me physically away from my kid's funeral or my parents' funeral, and I would have about 300 to 500 people armed, ready to roll, just to fucking put me in front of that funeral. And there wouldn't be 20 of them like the fake funerals of Floyd. They know that, so they have to fabricate the shit. It sounds sick. It's because it is. It's fucking fabricated. These news stories, all you gotta do is look up fake news stories. Like the hurricanes, where you see someone going, I'm standing here in the middle of this rain, and then, you know, rowing a canoe, and then people are walking right by him and shit. You know, they're not all like very good. They're not all super talented at pulling stuff off. Most of them are stupid and poorly paid, and they're just actors. That's what they are. The results are real because they wind people up to do really bad things. But the beginning is just bullshit. Don't believe the fucking news. Don't believe the Facebook posts, the stories of how my grandfather just died and they want us mad. That's the goal. Don't stay mad and don't believe their bullshit. That's how you get out of this. That's how we win. And it ain't going to be by defeating the other side. All that does is decreases the population, and God knows that's what they want. Bill Gates has said it more times than I can count, and they want us to be lower in numbers, especially the good guys who really have principles and stuff, which are most likely to push back. And they don't want us to be that lame dog, and they're going to keep prodding us. So be ready. Love you guys. Cheers.